Hey, welcome back to the Growth Show podcast. I'm Whitney, your host, and you're joining us for a very special series, Website Success for 2025. This is a three-part series designed to help you build a client-attracting website that actually supports your business growth into 2025, which is almost here. It's crazy. In the first episode, in part one last week, we covered why just having a website isn't enough. We dove into the three key elements most websites are missing, things like strategic copy, automation, and lead generation, and how those are essential to turning your website into a real sales tool and not just a landing page that just sits there and doesn't do anything for your business. So if you have not listened to that episode yet, I highly recommend you go and check it out. Also, don't forget to visit the series landing page, which I have linked in the show notes. It's whitneybateson.com/website success 2025. You'll find summaries of each episode plus bonus resources and links to other related podcast episodes to support what we're going over in each of these parts of the series. There's also a comments and questions section. So anytime you are listening to this episode and you want to interact a little bit, ask me a question, let me know what you thought, what your aha moments were, put it in the comment section on the landing page so that I can see it and I can get back to you. And I just love having a little interaction if we can and not have it just be a one-sided conversation. Today, though, we are shifting gears to something that a lot of you probably have considered or have done yourself already, and that is DIY websites. Whether you've thought about using platforms like Squarespace or Wix, I totally get the appeal. There's this huge draw, right? You've got these beautiful templates that promise a stunning site in sometimes like just a few clicks. And now with AI, it's like click, click, boom, you've got a website. It sounds magical. But here's the thing. Those platforms are really only scratching the surface. In last week's episode, we talked about those key elements your website needs to actually generate clients, and none of that comes prepackaged in a template. So today, we are going to dive into the reality of DIY websites, what no one tells you before you start, and what you need to know if you are considering going down that path. Let's start with the first big truth about DIY websites. Design is just the starting point. So here's the problem. Platforms like Squarespace and Wix, they give you a starter design, and that's great for solving some of the initial tech and design challenges. But they aren't solving the real problems, like how your business is structured, what your clients need, and how to guide visitors through the site. So yeah, the templates look pretty, but a beautiful design doesn't automatically mean that your site is strategic or effective or going to generate sales. What no one tells you is that your website's success has very little to do with how pretty it looks. It's about how well it functions as a tool for your business. Is it converting visitors into clients? Is it getting people onto your email list? Is it helping your business grow? That's what really matters. And I kind of equate it to like buying pre-made furniture for your home. It looks beautiful in the catalog, right? Like you look at the sample room in the photos in the catalog and you just buy all of the stuff. They've already figured it all out. So like, great. But then you get it home and you realize it doesn't quite fit the layout of your living room, or it's not practical for how you actually live. And so customizing it to fit your space in your life would make all the difference. And your website is the same. You need it to be designed around your specific business needs, not just to look pretty. And I've seen some sites out there that look great. I mean, the owner picked a really beautiful template and it was clean and professional, but then they discover it isn't converting. They're not getting inquiries. They're not seeing the leads that they had hoped for. And that's because the problem isn't the design. It's really the strategy behind it. The site isn't guiding visitors anywhere. There's no clear call to action, or it's just a generic contact form. There's no lead generation strategy, AKA no lead magnet. And the copy, which we talked about last week, the copy, so critical. It's not really speaking to their ideal clients. It's not forming that emotional connection. So a site like that is built just based on design and not really customized to the business is not going to be successful. Now, another thing that I want to touch on are using free videos and tutorials to set up like a WordPress site. So you've heard me talk about the power of WordPress in prior episodes and why that's the only platform that we work with because it's the best for businesses who want to grow online. It performs better for SEO, and it's just endlessly flexible and customizable. Some people will go and get a WordPress theme and install that, or they'll follow a free tutorial for setting up a simple WordPress site. And the problem with this is, again, that the mechanics and getting the site set up is really just the starting point. Oftentimes, pre-built themes from WordPress don't have the designs and guidance for creating conversion-focused pages, which is, if you're selling services or anything where people are going to buy something from your site, that is a conversion-focused page. Same with these free tutorials. They lead you through all the tech of how to set up a blog, for example, and the domain and the hosting and all of that. And I know for a lot of business owners, there's this dream of passive income from a blog. And so they start with, I want to set up a blog. But for most business owners, your first source of income is going to come from services. You may have goals of monetizing a blog with ads or selling courses or programs, but all of those take time to build and sell. So you may start, and you're probably going to start, this is how I started, with selling services. But guess what? You need really clear pages on your site that are conversion focused, that are going to show your services, show your value, guide visitors into taking action. And these DIY tutorials about setting up a starter WordPress site, they are not going to show you how to make those pages and how to make a site that is set up to convert visitors into customers. So what's going to happen is you're going to set up that site, you're going to focus maybe a lot on blogging, you're going to have some pages for services, and then you're going to get really frustrated that 6 months, a year down the road, you're not making enough income for you to quit your job, or just feeling like really dejected and demoralized because you're not making money. And it's not your fault. It's because you maybe went about it in the wrong way and need to first be focusing on getting these services sold. And you really need your strategic website in place for that. And this is going to lead me then to my next big truth about DIY websites. They come with hidden costs. Sure, on the surface, they seem quicker and cheaper to do than hiring someone to do it. You can set up a template in a few clicks and voila, you have a site. But what happens when you want to make changes or customize it to fit your unique needs? Maybe you know that this template is not set up enough to really sell your services in the way you want. But what happens when you want to make changes or customize it to fit your unique needs? When you need to create a page that's going to do a great job laying out your services and connecting with your client, but either the template or the tutorial doesn't show you how to do that, or it's not even an option. What are you going to do? Here's where it gets tricky. Even simple changes can turn into hours of frustration. Let's say you want to move a section or adjust a button. You'll find yourself spending way more time than expected trying to figure out how to make it work. And don't get me started on trying to troubleshoot when something goes wrong. And this can happen with any platform, but I do hear it a lot with WordPress, although I would say that Squarespace and Wix also, more of the challenges are necessarily in like the flexibility and being able to customize and change things. But then people talk about more of the tech challenges with WordPress. And we've had students in our program tell us that they have been scared of WordPress in the past, or they've already tried it and it was a nightmare. Like we had a past student, Julia, she had first tried to build a WordPress site on her own. And, how hard can it be? There's tutorials. Everything seems straightforward. But then she told me it was a nightmare experience for her. She said literal nightmare experience. Like imagine Googling for answers, watching tutorials, and getting more frustrated and just knowing that this is not how I should be spending my time right now. There are other things that are more important. There are other things I enjoy more, but yet I am stuck doing this. So what should have been like a quick fix turned into a whole afternoon of stress over and over and over again. And that's how our program, the Wellness Pro website system, comes in and it makes WordPress easy because we have templates that we set up for you and then we teach you how to customize them. And they're very easy to customize, much more flexible. And then we're there to give you that support so that you don't have to be Googling and trying to solve problems on your own. We're really taking that tech headache out of the equation for you and doing a lot of the pre-prep tech setup that trips people up to. We're doing that ahead of time as well. And I just equate like DIY to like following a recipe for a fancy dish you found online. Like the recipe promises that it's going to be simple, it's going to be good. Okay, everything makes sense. But then once you start cooking, like the garlic is burning or you're missing half of the ingredients or it takes way longer than the 30 minutes that they said it would. And you just end up feeling frustrated, stressed, wishing you had just ordered takeout because dinner is now being served at 11 o'clock at night. And the same thing happens with DIY websites. They seem easy until you're knee deep in a problem that you weren't expecting. So if DIY doesn't work, the next logical step is to hire a designer, right? Well, not necessarily. So here's the thing. Hiring a designer doesn't always solve the problem either. A lot of designers focus on making your site look beautiful, but they aren't always thinking about the strategy or the copy that's going to make it convert. So many designers are going to ask you for your copy, for your images, and maybe some design inspiration. So they're going to ask you for that. They're not going to do that for you, but then they're also not going to be guiding you through how to structure your pages or how to write effective conversion-focused copy. So you could end up with a really nice looking site that looks professional that you're proud to share, but that doesn't actually bring in clients. And we had a client, Heather, where she had a website, she had paid someone else to do it. And what happened was that like the site on its face, if you visited, you'd be like, this site looks fine. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. But the branding of it and the layout of it was really giving off this vibe that was like a lot more soft and feminine and a little like almost like appealing to children maybe a little bit. And she was serving men with heart disease. So it was completely not the right branding. There were also other things that were going on that were not great. The copy wasn't really strong either. So that's just what can happen sometimes is you can hire the designer and either they're making you bring the copy or they're maybe giving you some initial copy, but it's just really not like dialed in. And so you just really have to be careful about that. And so when we redid her site, we made sure that the brand was dialed into her ideal customer. We made sure the copy was really strong, that we had like a strong customer journey throughout the site, guiding people. We had all the things like the automations and all of that. And she said that it just was working so much better for her. You know, when men were searching for someone like her to help them with their nutrition and health needs, she was popping up in Google. And when they land on the site, they're feeling instantly like, okay, she's the right one to help me. And they're booking calls and all of that. So it's kind of like hiring a professional to decorate your home. They make it look gorgeous, but they don't necessarily take your lifestyle into account. So now you've got this beautiful home, but there's no storage space. The furniture isn't comfortable for everyday living. So your website needs to be both beautiful and functional for your business. And one final point that I want to make is this. Your website is a living, breathing thing. So many people think that once they finish their website, they're done. Or they think that they have to have everything perfect and everything figured out before they launch their site. But your website needs to evolve as your business grows. Your services are going to change. And when they do, your site needs to reflect that. If you are going to start offering something new, your site needs to be able to make that clear. If your site isn't flexible and easy to update, you are going to feel stuck. Your business is going to be held back, and that's going to cost you time and money down the line. So whether you go DIY or hire a designer, you need a website that you can easily update on your own. Now, it's fine to go and get support for higher level things, more advanced things. That's all well and good. But when you want to add a new service or you want to test out maybe pre-selling a course or something, I personally think that you should be able to get that up and running pretty easily yourself, or at least like making copy changes and adding a booking, a scheduler, or updating your schedule. You should know how to do that. You don't want to be dependent on a designer for every little tweak. The last thing you want is to have a website that feels like a roadblock instead of a business tool. All right, so let's recap. DIY websites can give you a quick start, but they can come with hidden costs in time, frustration, and lack of strategy. And while hiring a designer might seem like the solution, unless they understand the strategy behind a successful website, you could end up with a beautiful site that doesn't convert. Plus, both DIY and designer-built sites need to be flexible enough for you to update and maintain as your business grows. So I basically told you a lot of things to watch out for, but don't worry, I have a solution for you. So next week in our final episode of this series, we are going to be diving into my simple framework for creating this client attracting website for yourself that actually hits all of these marks and overcomes these issues. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build a site from start to finish, step by step, what you should be doing first, second, third, etc. A site that is going to work for your business so that you are not stuck with just a pretty but ineffective site, or one that you're just like not even sure where to get started with. So trust me, you do not want to miss this final part of the series. It's going to be very in-depth, and like all of these episodes, you're going to have additional bonus materials to help you with every step and tip that I share with you. And hey, if you are already feeling like DIY is not for you, but you're also not sure about hiring a designer, don't worry, I've got something that's the best of both worlds, my website program. You've been hearing me talk about the Wellness Pro website system. This gives you the structure and flexibility to build a site that works without all of the headaches. So I would just want to take a moment and tell you a little bit more about that. So how we make that work is that we have these pre-made layouts that we install for you on WordPress. And these layouts, they're not like the other templates out there. These have been put together and created for wellness professional websites to actually convert. So they have the layout and the structure and the customer journey already built in, and then you just learn how to customize it for your services in your brand and your specific business. So instead of starting with a generic template that is really just focused on the aesthetics and it's not designed for conversions, it's not specific to your business as a wellness professional. Instead, these templates are really dialed in. So we've already baked in a lot of strategy into them from the very get-go. And then we put all of them on WordPress for you. We connect it to your domain. We put your brand colors in there. We give you brand templates so that you don't have to be starting branding from scratch. I know most of us are not designers. I mean, I'm a designer, but most business owners are not. And so we have templates so that you can pick your color palette, get a logo put together. You give that stuff to us, and then we actually set up the templates for you. And then we teach you how to customize the templates to be specific to your business. We have worksheets for things like figuring out your ideal client and figuring out your services. You're also going to get lead magnet coaching and lead magnet ideas and templates and Canva for that. And then I even go into blogging and SEO guidance, and all of this is supported by myself and my team. We have a private forum for you to ask questions in whenever you get stuck, plus weekly calls with myself and my tech team to make sure that you get specific guidance on how to apply everything that you're learning to your specific business. And what's great too is that you're learning things that you could apply to your business again and again. To add a new service, you'll know how. You'll know how to create lead magnets, how to write copy, how to blog, how to attract traffic to your site after you launch. And then you get lifetime access to all of these lessons, worksheets, templates, call recordings. You can always come back to it. So it really is not just this tool that is going to help you launch your site for the first time. This is a business tool that you can keep coming back to, and you're going to be able to apply the things that you learn as you want to create new lead magnets, or you want to create new pages on your website. You're going to know how. You're going to know how to write better copy that's more conversion focused. It's going to connect with your customers more. And our students really love that they know how to edit their sites. And we've had students say that this was one of the most enjoyable courses they've ever taken, and that it's helped them gain a lot of clarity about their business in general, because that's something that comes with creating a website. You may not even realize it. You may think, okay, I'm just going to build this site, but there's a lot of things that you need to know and have answers about when it comes to your business and how you want your services to be positioned and all of that. And it can be a little tricky to figure that out once you get into the nitty-gritty, and that's what we help you work with. So get more details about the program and everything that's inside when you visit the series landing page, or you can go to wellnessprowebsite.com. You can preview the layouts and the templates. You can check out past sites that our students have created and hear what they've thought about the program. We will be opening enrollment for a few short days next week at a very special price. It's our lowest price of the year. It's our pre-Black Friday sale. So we will be wrapping up the sale before Black Friday madness, before the holiday. So you don't have to be thinking about websites or thinking about your business during the holiday. So it will be starting next week. I will be revealing the price next week and what to do if you would like to join me in the program. So thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next week for our final episode of our website success series. We are really going to dive into the step-by-step framework to create a website that is finally going to boost your business forward in 2025. I'll see you there.